Hey guys, you're here for another installment from Force 15. So this we have now is Hurricane Matthew live coverage. Also joined here by Jesper as well.
Hello everyone.
So this we have now is Hurricane Matthew live coverage. I've just realised that I've left that on with me. Left me watching the stream as well. I forgot to turn it down. So yeah, we're off to a good start. So we've got some live coverage here for you guys now, and we will be only on live for an hour. We'll probably just wait till the advisory comes out on
Matthew.
Matthew even. We've just been looking into the dropsonde data. One of the dropsondes that they dropped at 23:29, which was approximately 11 minutes ago. They have been the dropsonde's been falling back down to Earth on a parachute, and they've been finding 885 millibars level. They found 163 miles an hour, 909, 159, and 929 millibars, 161 miles per hour, and 933 millibars, 155 miles per hour. So that dropsonde did show consistency with either a very strong Category 4 or a weak Category 5. So we may be looking tonight at a Category 5 in the Atlantic. And if this does come to pass as being a Category 5, this will be the first Category 5 in 9 years.
Yep, that's right. Let's see.
So yeah, it's a developing story here, guys. We may I will possibly be going live tomorrow morning maybe, but I do have to go off at 11 o'clock. But after that I may be able to provide possibly continued coverage maybe through most of the weekend. We've breaking news, it has just come through that Matthew is now up to 150 miles an hour. Storm is at 150.
Right. See if I can.
Yes, the update is through 150 miles an hour.
And 945 millibars. That's a pressure difference of let's see, it was 949 before, I think.
Yes, dropped 4 millibars.
Yes, and that corresponds to that pressure reading they were having, 946. So they just make an average on what they think and estimate it to be. But yeah, so rapidly intensifying, as has been all day actually, which I will show you in this frame right here. This is from a few hours ago, starting at 10 UTC, and how it's been developing really rapidly. Here is on the infrared channel, and how that eye has been coming up and clearing out now, and how those cloud tops have been cooling a lot now, and you can see those white bands. That's minus 80 or even more.
So you're watching Force 15 live. Time is now 44 minutes past midnight British Summer Time, 23:45 UTC. Still by UTC time, technically it is still the 30th of September, though here in the UK now it is actually it is October even. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there a bit.
But yeah, as of the latest intermediate advisory from the NHC, Hurricane Matthew is now up to 150 miles per hour, and has actually slow down a little bit to 9 miles an hour. And this is the forecast track from the NHC, where they now predict it's going to slow down even more to be carried northward to the north to Jamaica and Cuba and the Dominican Republic here in Haiti. And the hurricane watch has been issued, but I really strongly think that they will upgrade that to a warning within the next complete advisory, which will be number 12, and also possibly tropical storm warning around here where it is right now. It's yellow for the tropical storm watch, and elsewhere it is uncertain at the moment, but we do think it's going to make that continue north, and where if it goes to the east and out to sea, or west more up to the coast closer to Florida, that remains to be seen, but we'll keep you informed. And here's another thing I want to show. Here's microwave data, and this is basically a polar satellite that scans through the rain bands, and it's basically the same as radar, but a little bit different. So here you can see how it's been developing and how the eyes can become very, very defined, and it's wrapping around, the very reddish colors are wrapping around the eye. So
just say, guys watching as well, if you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the comments to the right if you're watching live, or put them below if you're watching after this stream has finished. We'll be answering any questions you guys will have during this time. Only be live for about an hour or so. Next full advisory to come in from the National Hurricane Center will be at 300 UTC, 400 British summertime. So we're looking early morning tomorrow if this storm does become a Category 5 or not. Though we'll be through the night. We'll see what updates we can make during the time. And areas at the moment that should be preparing or / taking shelter, and just being aware of that Jamaica should be watching very heavily the progress of this system. The same for Haiti, the Dominican Republic, the Turk and Caicos Islands, the Bahamas, Cuba, Florida, and also up the coast into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and also Newfoundland should also be watching out for this storm as well at the moment, where we're looking at a possibility from some of the model runs is that it may intensify once it's through Cuba. And I know some people might not like me saying this, but this reminds me at the moment, even it is stronger than this, but reminds me a lot of Sandy at the moment.
Yeah, well, even if it doesn't already does look like Sandy, it's going to be almost certain one of the worst storms that Jamaica has ever had. And they really should prepare now, because there really is no other model that suggests that it's going to miss Jamaica or anything. It's just some 2 or 3 models here that are taking it away. But even if it doesn't go over Jamaica, it still will affect the because of takes this purple model here, or the green one here. It will still be the right side of the eye, which a lot of heavy winds will be, but it's overall going to be a landfall or very close to landfall.
NHC is still trying to downplay the storm at the moment, where we have latest forecasts just come through, and there's that it's saying that Matthew will start to weaken. Though I don't think that will be the case, to be honest.
No, I don't see any eyeball replacement anytime soon. That will come tomorrow, in that case. And by tomorrow, it will be a category 5 if you continue at this phase.
Also, at the moment, the reconnaissance plane is currently located off the coast of the sort of border region of Venezuela and Colombia. I think it's sort of on approach, or sort of running parallel. About, it says location 93 stat sheet miles, 150 kilometers to the west of Oran, Gestad, and Aruba.
See if I can update the imagery here again. See if it's up to the latest. It should be 23:15. And here's the latest work. The work is basically an interpretation of how the storm looks and how its shape is and so on, and you created the work number for that. And there's basically 3 different states of that. The raw numbers, which is just a sort of early look to the system, and they think it's that intensity. That's 7.2, which I'm not sure. That's category 5, of course, but I'm not sure exactly what its intensity is in terms of miles an hour. And the adjusted intensity of the work scale is 6.1, and also the final T number, which is 6.1, currently at 117 knots according to ADT. But now we know that it's 150 miles an hour, which is, what's that in knots? That's 130.
Is
right?
that the what you're showing? Is that the latest from Matthew?
Yeah, they do say that hurricane hunters find extremely dangerous Matthew with 150 mile an hour winds. Let's see, 150 mile an hour movement west-southwest, or 155 degrees at 9 miles an hour. And the minimum central pressure, and that's from plane recorded at 945 millibars.
You guys are watching Force 15 live. The time is now 53 minutes past midnight, 23:53 UTC, and still continuing coverage on the storm at the moment. We will probably be going till about 1:30. Then we may call it a day a little bit earlier because we have already got the advisory through on the storm. We might have been we were expecting to wait probably a little bit longer for the advisory to come through on the storm.
Yeah. Here anyway is the plane here. Here is where it is at the moment as of 23:42 UTC on September 30th, and yeah, was really close on reaching category 5 before the end of September, at least on UTC time. But I guess NHC does count the intensity on their time zone, which would be the east coast of the United States, which will be, I think that's about 5 hours behind UTC time. So it's got 5 hours to reach category 5 if it wants to be that in September, technically. Or if it wants to be that in October. But yeah, this is how it looks like right now, and that was the pressure. So right now this is the latest, and there seems to be turning around now, so they might go in for another run inside the eye to record another pressure reading.
Also, just to quickly say as well, guys, that we are expecting the storm to possibly is quite likely now that the storm may intensify to a Category 5 hurricane, and also areas in the storm's path. If you guys have interests in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, Turk and Caicos Islands, and the Bahamas, if you guys have emergency plans, do start putting them into place. Evacuations, I don't believe we've heard anything from evacuations yet, but it might be something that you might want to be thinking about. If you have the means to get to higher ground in Jamaica, possibly with the incumbent storm surge as well, there's a possibility that the storm may produce some significant storm surge to the area, especially at Norman Manley International Airport, which I do believe lies quite close to sea level there. I'm just looking on the street view, and yes, it does. There was this photosphere that someone's taken, and it does look quite low in that area around the airport there. If you guys again in Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Turk and Caicos, the Bahamas, also possibly on the eastern coast of Florida between sort of the Everglades up through Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port St. Lucie, I think that is Lucie, Palm Bay, Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, and also all the way up sort of through Brunswick and Savannah and Georgia as well. You should be watching the progress of the storm over the next couple of days, and also any emergency procedures or precautions should be in the immediate vicinity in Jamaica and Haiti should be rushed to completion, though in Cuba, Florida, the Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos and Bahamas, you should be thinking about putting emergency plans and procedures into place. Especially in Turks and Caicos Islands, that may be coming up to a rush to completion, possibly within the next 6 to 12 hours. Anything to add, Jesper?
No, not at the moment. I'm just gonna see if I can show another IR image here.
Okay. You guys are watching Force 15 Live. The time is now 58 minutes past midnight, just coming up to 1 o'clock in the morning. It'll be midnight UTC in 2 minutes' time. And welcome to October, lads.
And here is the rainbow imagery from Ghost 13. And I was moving now steadily west-southwest down, but it's expected to continue on this general path and then gradually curve to the north, where up here is Jamaica located, and could come right overhead or just skirt the coast, which I will show you in the model runs, which some of them are suggesting more in depth, which is not updated quite to speed, because this was at 18Z, this was updated, so when the storm was before the latest advisory came out. But anyway, forecasted to take this general track to southwest, and then curve to the north is the GFS model, and takes it very close. In fact, I'm just gonna zoom in on that right here. Takes it very close. As of right now, they think it's gonna be around 930 millibars or so as it comes across, and I think that's very believable. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's more gonna be a more westward track than eastward track. So it's either gonna be like this, just very close to the coast here to the east coast, or just directly overhead. Afterwards, it quickly passes over Cuba as well, which will most likely be in the more eastern part of Cuba. Um, Possibly as a major as well. I don't think it's going to weaken too much after it passes over Jamaica, no matter how high those mountains are, because it's just going to move quite rapidly to the north because it's getting pulled by a cold front. Afterwards, it passes to the north, and here's where it gets interesting, where it will go. This is the 5-day forecast was where NHC stops
I
around here.
also just quickly saying, Jesper, I don't mean to alarm people, but I have now just looked at the GFS model run from tropicaltidbits.com. And we are I'm just looking at this. This is 150 hours out, but from the looks of it, just after it passes through the Bahamas, there is one bit at 150 hours, which is 0Z on Friday, the 7th of October, 2016. The storm is just off the coast of Florida with a surface air pressure of 907 millibars, which that is very concurrent with a Category 5 hurricane there.
Yeah.
So there is maybe the possibility for the storm maybe not just to become a Category 5 once, but twice.
Yeah. And that depends all with the shear and how those shear values are around here. But here was the GFS has been more out to sea, but in the latest 2 runs there have been more into the west coast, which a high pressure is out to sea, more into closer to Bermuda, and pushing the hurricane more to the west. As you can see here, it's very close to Florida coast. Here it's just off the it goes around a few miles out, and continue on to the north. And here you can see it's getting pushed in by that high pressure out to sea. As you can see, it deepens down 925, 913.
CMC is sort of only showing about maybe Category 1, Category 2. Nah.
Yeah, and that's here's.
I think that's
GFS is saying for that. I don't want to really go any further out because it's really uncertain, but that's what they say.
GFS. That was one with like 907 or something.
Another model I want to look at is HWRF, which I think they have updated. Yeah, they have.
Go for the ECMWF on that one.
HWRF is also similar to GFS, takes it over, just skirts Jamaica, and also goes over Bermuda,
This is
over the Bahamas.
Jesper. This is sort of also quite a way out, but what this ECMWF is actually showing.
Yeah, very intense over the Bahamas.
Category 5, and actually stalls over the Bahamas.
Yeah, I was getting onto that as well. ECMWF is that's the latest one as well, but this one is really interesting because they take it over, or just very close to Jamaica, and then actually moves a little bit to the right instead of taking it over directly over Cuba. And it goes over and goes way west, more further or east, sorry, than the other models, because they were predicting it around here, more over closer to Florida. Anyway, then it continues to jog to the west again, and intensifies as it does so, and moves very slowly. ECMWF is the slowest of the models to go out this far. Continue further intensifies, and do keep in mind that this is 500 millibar height, so those 926 will be a little bit lower at surface, which by my reckoning will be around maybe lower 90 something, so, or even lower than that. So around here it peaks according to the ECMWF before it stalls. So 924 there. So, but that's 240 hours out, October 10th. So we'll wait for that. But the thing is to remember that after the Caribbean, the story of Matthew is not done yet. It's still got quite a long way to go before it's done, and what it will do, if it will move out to sea or if it will remain within the Bahamas region, or even possibly threaten the US coast or even Florida even, which some models are even forecasting. I think your GFDL, yeah, right, you're taking it into the Florida coast here. So it's that.
You guys are watching Force 15 live. Time is now 1:06 in the morning, 6 minutes past midnight UTC. And continuing coverage on Hurricane Matthew. Our next stream after this probably be sometime in the morning, or possibly a little bit later on. I'm actually going to be out most of the day tomorrow, during over the next couple of days or so. Just over the tomorrow even. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. It's too late at night. But yeah, I'm out tomorrow from approximately 10:45 till about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna see if I can maybe set something up. Would you be up for maybe doing something with Force 15 Extra, Jesper?
Oh, might do. Possibly depends on what the hurricane might do, which one. If there is a big emergency, it might go live in the morning. So I guess of category 5 or something else.
Okay.
As of right now, as you can see, the plane is going in again here on the screen share. So they're getting ready for another pass. So we'll wait for that to see if the pressure has dropped or if it stays overall the same. So I don't think the winds are gonna change all that much, but 150 is what NHC says and what the plane did record. Overall, looking at the storm on infrared, it's minus 80 almost wrapping around the whole storm. So and the eye is quite healthy and is still there, so no sign of eyeball replacement yet. However, we should expect maybe another microwave pass to see a little bit more. And do keep in mind that this storm is you can't let your guard off it, because this one has been very hard, especially for the NHC, to forecast its intensity, because I think at the beginning they were forecasting 115 miles an hour peak, I think, or even not even that. It never even forecasted the category 3. Was 105 miles an hour was the forecast.
Are you talking about Patricia?
No, Matthew.
Okay.
So,
Patricia was sort of the same as well, though. There's the sense of forecasted barely a category 2.
But now it's forecasted to be the worst. I think is going to affect many people. Many people live in these islands and in the Bahamas as well. As you remember last year with Hurricane Joaquin, which basically stalled over Bahamas here and caused the ship to sink, the El Faro, which
that was in Hurricane Joaquin.
Yeah, so and affected many people as well here in the Bahamas. So we could be looking at the same. I really
Oh, looks like they've dropped another drop zone. It was on the outer reaches of the storm, but it's returned with 66 miles an hour.
Right.
So it's in an area with tropical storm force winds.
Should be.
It's heading back for where it was when it recorded 160. It's on the bearing, heading back to that area. ETA probably at about 20 minutes. 10, 20 minutes. That's my rough estimated arrival time back to where there is the possibility of Category 5 conditions being felt. This plane has launched from the base on the US Virgin Islands at Henry E. Rolson Airport. And that's been out now for a good couple of hours now, to be honest, I think.
Yeah. Takes a while to fly to Matthew. Here is how the shortwave imagery looks like an IR and how it's
plane. Here we go.
up.
Plane took off at approximately 21:12 Zulu, so about 10:12 British Summer Time.
Yeah.
You're watching Force 15 live. The time is now 1:12 in the morning.
Here's RAM imagery of the IR. And looking at the latest there's a pretty strong band to the south there, which might wrap around. Because if you compare this one to this one, that's strengthening to my eye. It's definitely strengthening. So maybe not on this pass, 160, but by morning, if it continues like this and if it holds the eye, that's Category 5 in my mind.
The plane's current coordinates stand at 13.15 degrees north, 71.70 degrees west. Currently at approximately about 9,000 feet, or 3,030 meters. It's almost 10,000 feet actually. And air temperature currently at 8.9 degrees Celsius centigrade.
Okay.
Currently being felt by the plane at the moment. Winds approximately now into hurricane force, just below by about 0.2 of a mile an hour. And actually, looking at the imagery.
Yeah, looking at the where they passed over, they have looks like it's 137 knots at flight level. Let's have a look. That's the maximum this goes to. That's a bit higher actually than passed in, much higher than before. At let's see.
Looks like they might be flying over the eye as well, Jesper, and they might be flying around it, I think.
Well, no, they passed over. Let's see what they got for pressure. Let's see what they. was 945 there, so seems like 941.8 was the lowest, but I'm gonna look on the actual data from this one here to see. Yeah, 941.8 was the lowest pressure recorded from the actual plane. That was not a drop zone, it was just an estimate from the actual plane.
I think NHC have more or less put a guess on it, really, to be honest.
I don't think it's category 5 though, because the pressure does not matter, does not make sense. 945 is not, I don't call that a category 5. It needs to be lower. That pressure is telling the whole story. I think 150 is a good estimate, or a good observation rather. That was the actual plane that found that. You can't argue with the plane data.
You're watching Force 15 Live. Time is now 16 minutes past 1 in the morning, 16 minutes past midnight UTC. And we're continuing coverage just for this hour, finishing up in the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes. Jesper's going to go off to bed, so am I.
Yeah, oh, well.
I've got to be up tomorrow morning.
On a Saturday, you gotta get up early.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, for Christ's sake, not again.
Anyhow, so
I'll tell you, Sunday I'm sleeping in, unless Matthew's a category 5.
oh yeah, then we red alert sort of. We get here. No, but really, that's what we do in the storm tracking business. We stay up late to get the latest.
But as well to you guys watching, if you guys would like to join the Force 15 project as well, we've got you can check out the website force-15.weebly.com. You can like the Facebook page, follow on Twitter as well. You can add me on Skype, the username michael.scott381. You can also join the Force 15 chat room. That link's in the description below, so you guys can check that out. Join us guys in the chat room as well. We've got like Carl Chua, Craig, Jess was also in the room, Justin Demon, Max Stearns, and also Nick Budd as well.
Got the latest microwave pass from 23. Let's see if it is 23. Yeah, 23 or half past 23 UTC. And that looks to me, the eye itself, compared to 21s, that is about the same. It's more on the west side, more of the reddish, and however on the east side is more faded. But overall, on the other bands, it's stronger. So it's no sign of an eyeball replacement yet, because you got to have the whole sort of an inner eyeball to or outer eyeball inside this one. So for an eyeball replacement to happen, but yeah, it's category 5 is very possible now within 06 or the morning advisory, or if NHC really put up some emergency advisory, which they sometimes do. They just put up, to the right hand side of the archive here, just put up an update sign. If they want to say a storm is more stronger, so they put it up. But with 945, you can't. That is just not category 5 winds, you don't have that. The lowest category 5 you can get is well, with that eye being rather large, it needs to be a pinhole eye. So
Noah 3 as well is currently en route back to base. Not that far out now, about no less than 10 to 20 minutes out back from base.
Noah 9 plane, which is an upper level plane, they measure the high atmosphere around Matthew, and they're flying at 14,000 meters at the moment.
Also, Noah 9 about to return to base as well.
No, they're not actually flying still, because they just took a really long turn, as you can see here, just to because they measure the upper levels. They need to know wind shear, they need to know high pressure systems, where they are, the upper level system and everything. So they go on very far to check the entire area of to make direction, track forecasts for Matthew. So that's why the base is actually located to the right side here. So them flying over here, and they're actually turning. So they're just making here's Matthew right here, where you can't see it at the moment. It's black. So, but it's right over here, and they're actually over the Gulf at the moment.
So we got an update as well from AF303, and that is I think it's just passed through the center of the storm.
Yeah, they got a pressure reading 941.
Just looking at the rainbow imagery, yeah, it's just passed through the center. I don't think a drop sond has been dropped. I think they might just be going through for a turn, maybe. There might be later on tomorrow, unless I do set something up. My plan is at the moment maybe leave my computer streaming whilst Jesper and Craig maybe come on the Hangout call as well. That's the best way I can work it, Jesper, in my head.
All right.
We'll just have to wait for the 3Z advisory to see if the storm has intensified to a Category 5. If it has, there will be an update early tomorrow morning on Force 15. And also, maybe instead of live events, Jesper, maybe put a short video on Force 15 Extra.
Yeah, or something like that. Well, we'll see what happens. So I'll see what I can do.
Okay, thank you all.
Let's see if I can look at the latest frame now to see if the eye is, because I see that the eye was fading away a little bit, but then cleared out again on the latest. Yeah, it did, because you can look here, it's more in the greenish, and there you can see it's more in the blue, light blue. So that's more clear eye there. So, and also the cloud tops on the west side was cooling a little bit. So the west side seems to be the strongest part right now. Play on for this for a while. There we go. So that's how the storm has been doing. And what was the storm at, let's see, I can go back to RAM. Maybe an HC, but oh well. Wants to load. Yeah, so was it 85 knots this morning? So it has strengthened quite a bit since then. It went from category 2 to category 4, and now so basically from it might go from, if it reaches category 5, which I think it will do that either. I don't think we'll do that.
309.
Yeah, I don't think it will reach category 5 when we are live right now. We won't do it, live.
I think we might be signing off the stream in a bit, actually, in the next
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the next pressure reading, really, and then we'll probably go off air. But anyway, so by morning UTC, the morning update rather, I probably have a category 5. If the eye stays healthy and everything goes well, it can definitely do it, which is quite surprising considering NHC were actually suggesting weakening by this time, or weakening really. It will be the worst time for it. It was predicting strengthening when it was more yesterday, and now around this time right now it was actually predicting more weakening, or at least sustained its winds, not strengthening. And then afterwards, as it turned towards Jamaica, then it would predict strengthening. But this is what happens with storms. We do not, everything is not perfect. We still have a lot to learn with intensity forecasts, and how we predict things. The track, as you can see, is pretty good. I can actually show you how the track looked for advisory number 1 from the NHC. Here's advisory number 1, and as you can see, it's formed right over here over the Lesser Antilles as tropical storm warnings was issued, and I believe was 1 death from over that area. Tragically, was killed by a landslide of some sort, I think. And anyway, continued to the west and has done so as well as the forecast that says from the NHC. But as you can see here, S stands for the tropical storm, and H for hurricane, and M for major hurricane, which is category 3 or above. And as you can see, we are about right here at the moment, or around here. So as you can see, it's only an H, which signifies either category 1 or category 2, which now we know is a category 4. So it's way off by the NHC by that. And I even remember it was around 105 by Jamaica here. The last one here, it was predicting 105 miles an hour. But then continued and strengthened, but NHC kept the intensity fairly low, to 115, and then it strengthened to 120. Then they predicting that it would keep that intensity, and then it strengthened to a category 4, 140 miles an hour. Then the NHC predicted the 145 miles an hour peak, and now we know it's up to 150. So pretty much every intensity advisory NHC has been wrong about it. But not to blame them or anything, it is really hard to, especially in October for Caribbean, because there's a lot of energy and the SSTs are fairly warm. So
more drops on data concurrent with category 5.
Right, I'm just gonna check what no update from. All right, again, one level update. ADT down for raw T number 7.1 and adjusted 6.2, so up 0.1.